Hi everybody, it's number talk time. Today we're going to work on some addition strategies. You'll need a piece of paper and a pen, so go and grab those while I have a quick chat with your grown-ups. Hey parents, you would have watched last week's number talk and you would have understood the reasons why we do these talks and why we really want our kids to understand the flexible way that they can work with numbers. In this particular talk today, we're going to look into some addition strategies, which we can then flip and talk about subtraction strategies as well. But like I said, there is absolutely no limit to the answers your child can give. So the more creative, the better. Errors are always treated as learning opportunities. So if they are making a few mistakes with their counting, make sure that we work on that and just remind them gently to give it another shot and check their answer. There are so many ways of solving the problem, so we want the children to see that. And in this particular one, I will give them 3 strategies, a couple that they've probably already heard of at school. And then there's a bit of a challenge at the end that I would love to see on the class seesaws. All right, everybody, I hope you've got a piece of paper there. You don't need to draw my ants and astronauts, but I am going to count them with you. My question today is, how can we find the answer to 16 plus 9? And I know you've probably got lots of great ideas. I'm going to do one to start with that works, but it's probably not the best one. And I'm going to try something new today with my pen. I'm going to count all of the items that we've got here. So I'm going to tick them off as I count them, or I might put a cross through them so I know that I've counted them and I don't get mixed up. Here I go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Oh, goodness me, this is a lot of counting. 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Wow, that was heaps of counting. This strategy is called counting everything or counting by 1, and that's what we did. A really good way to make sure you get all of them is to tick them off or mark them as we go to make sure you don't miss any of them or you don't count any of them twice. Now, counting everything's a good strategy, but it might be a bit tricky once we get up into those big numbers, and it would take a long time. So let's see if we can find a better strategy. Oh, now I know that there's 16 there because that's my question. So I'm not going to bother counting them. I'm going to put that big number in my head. So there it is, 16 in my head, and I'm going to count on. I don't have to start at 1. I can start at 16 because that's what's in my head. So here we go. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. We got to the right answer. This strategy is called counting on from the biggest number, and I know that you've heard that one before. It's the one where we put the big number in our head and count on the other numbers that we need to. All right, now we're going to get a bit tricky. Here we go. In this strategy, I'm going to look for a 10. So to do that, I've made tens frames to make it really easy for you to see my number. You can see that I've made the 16 using the blue dots. So I've got a full 10 frame of 10, and then I've got 6. And I've made my 9 using the orange dots. But here's what I'm going to do. I want to take this dot here and I want to move it over here. So what I've done is I've created a 10. And I know how much easier it is to count by tens. I haven't taken any numbers away. All I've done is moved one of the numbers. So I made this 10 down the bottom with the orange dots. And it's easy now. If I count, I can see 2 frames of 10 and the extra 5, which gets me to 25. How easy is that? This strategy is called find a 10. And here what I've done is I've borrowed one from the 16 to add it to the 9 and make a 10. And that means that it makes it much easier to count my numbers because counting by tens is really easy. All right, I've got a new number now, a new question. My question is, how could I find the answer to 14 plus 12? And in this strategy, I'm going to split my numbers apart. So we'll need to know about tens and ones. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the tens and move them over here. And I know that that is 10 plus 10. And I bet everybody's saying 10 plus 10 equals 20. How easy is that? But I still need to add the ones as well. So I'm going to take my ones, 4 and 2, and move them over here. So then I need to add them. And I bet everybody shouted 4 plus 2 equals 6. I've split the number apart into tens and ones because that makes it really easy to add them up. But I can't leave it like this because I know I need to get to an answer. So what I need to do is I need to take my 20 and my 6 and bring them back together. And I know that 20 plus 6 is an easy question to work on. And you'll all be able to tell me that 20 plus 6 equals 26. This strategy is called break apart or split strategy. And we call it that because we're breaking the numbers apart or splitting them up into tens and ones. It's much easier to add tens and ones than those much bigger numbers. Here's my challenge to you, and you can see my wondering man there. He's thinking, how can we find the answer to 15 plus 13? Will you try counting all of them, drawing all the items and counting them? Will you count on from the biggest number? Will you find a 10, I wonder? Or will you have a go at splitting or breaking apart those numbers? Here's what I want you to do right now. On that piece of paper you grabbed, could you write 15 plus 13 at the top? And then I want you to have a go at breaking it, at solving the problem. Here's your challenge. Tell me what strategy you used. So as you're figuring out the answer to 15 plus 13, which one of those strategies are you using? And I'd like you to explain your thinking as you go, just like I did when I was talking about those strategies. If you're feeling really clever or if you've got a grown-up to help you, you can take a video of yourself explaining your thinking and share it to your Seesaw. I wonder, and this is a big challenge question, and I know that some people will be able to give it a go. I wonder why you chose that strategy. Have a really good think about that strategy that you've used and why did you choose that one? Write it down on the side or tell it to the camera in your video and then share it with us on your Seesaw so that we can all see your clever thinking. I wonder if anybody else has a different strategy they've used because I haven't shown you all the strategies today. There's some more. Does anybody else have a different strategy to answer that question? Let me see on your Seesaw. See you soon.